The snowstorm hit faster than anyone expected. Her body was almost frozen and she hadn't moved in hours. The mountains loomed like silent predators, their shadows swallowing the valley. He had only one chance, one night, and if he failed, she wouldn't survive. John had always known the Rockies were merciless, but nothing could prepare him for this night. The wind tore through his coat like knives, carrying snow that stung his face. He had been on a routine supply run when he stumbled upon her, lying unconscious beneath a thin, tattered blanket half buried in the snow. Panic surged, but he forced himself to focus. Every second counted. Her lips were blue, her fingers stiff, and her shallow breath sounded like whispers of the mountains themselves. John gritted his teeth, remembering his father's survival lessons, the ones he never thought he'd need until now. He scanned the surroundings. The town was miles away, the path uncertain, and the storm showed no mercy. Every tree looked like a phantom, every shadow a lurking threat. But turning back was not an option. Each step through the snow was like wading through cement. His legs burned, his lungs screamed, but he forced himself forward. She shivered violently. He pressed his coat tighter around her, trying to keep her body heat intact. The night was alive with danger. Distant cracks echoed, avalanche, falling ice. The mountains didn't care. John whispered her name softly, hoping she'd hear, hoping she'd stay conscious. Hours dragged on. Every gust of wind felt like a warning, every shadow attested his sanity. He checked the compass, then the stars, then the map he barely understood. Survival was not about speed, it was about precision. A slip, a fall, a frozen limb, one mistake, and the mountains would claim them both. His mind flicked to the stories of other travelers lost forever in white silence. Fear clawed at him, but he refused to let it take over. She gasped, a weak, trembling sound. It was a sign of life, and yet so fragile. Oh, he adjusted her position, pulled her closer, and pushed on. They had only one night, and every moment was a battle. The storm grew stronger. Snow blinded his vision, and ice made every step treacherous. Suddenly, the ground beneath him shifted, a hidden ledge. He stumbled, barely catching her in time. Heart racing, he swallowed fear and pressed forward. Her shivers grew violent. He knew hypothermia was setting in. Time was slipping away. The lights of a distant town flickered like angels in the dark. Salvation. But it was miles away across a treacherous valley. His arms ached. Each step was agony, yet he could not stop. Not now, he shouted into the wind, words swallowed immediately. Still, he tried. She responded with a faint blink. Life. Then another crack, this one closer, avalanche, rock slide. The mountains were alive with threats. John didn't falter. He dropped to the ground at one point, sliding down the snowy slope with her pressed to his chest, landing safely after what felt like eternity. The mountains tested them, but determination burned brighter than fear. Every second, every heartbeat was a victory against nature itself. Finally, the outskirts of the town. Warmth, shelter, safety, everything he had prayed for. The snowstorm still raged, but here there was life, fire, people. He laid her gently on a bed of blankets. Her lips were still blue, but she was breathing steadily. He watched as the first sparks of consciousness returned to her eyes. Relief was overwhelming. Against all odds, they had survived the night. The mountains had tried to claim them, but determination, courage, and willpower had prevailed. He exhaled for the first time in hours, letting the cold fade from his mind, replaced by gratitude and exhaustion. Stories like these remind us of nature's beauty and its brutality. Some survive, some don't. Every choice, every second matters. What would you do if you were in his boots? Comment below, because the wild doesn't forgive mistakes, and courage is the difference between life and death.